Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today is a special day because Wizards have finally allowed us to have fun and play the way we want to play. Today is Historic Brawl Day, and I did have a deck lined up, but it wasn't quite ready, so instead what I'm going to do is revisit an old list that I know you guys liked quite a lot last time, so we're going to be running it all over again. This is going to be Jhoi Storm, built around Jhoi, Weatherlight Captain, a 4-mana 3/3, which says whenever you cast a historic spell, draw a card. So this is a combo deck. The only ways that it can win is through a combo. I guess, in theory, if your opponent's really terrible and, you know, they can't answer some 2/2s, they'll lose that way. But 99.9% of the time, you're going to be winning via combo shenanigans. Those ways are specifically going to be things like Aetherflux Reservoir, which says whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. And then you can pay 50 life. Aetherflux Reservoir deals 50 damage to any target. So that's going to be the way that we win. We can generate this in a number of ways. We also have the alternative win con as well of Diligent Excavator, which is a mill option as well, which cares about us playing historic spells, which our entire deck pretty much is. And yeah, so we're either going to go with damage or by mill, whichever one we want. You might say, how do we actually get through something like Leyline of Sanctity, which gives your opponent's hexproof? We do have Flood of Tears for that, which bounces all the permanents. And it's actually part of one of the ways that we can go off and combo as well. We've got Flood of Tears plus Omniscience in this list, a 10-mana enchantment that says you may cast spells from your hand without paying them mana cost. So if we get 4 permanents in play and we Flood of Tears, we can go off on a 6-mana turn, essentially. We do also have Paradox Engine in here, as well as Mystic Forge, which are a wonderful double team. Paradox Engine being a 5-mana legendary artifact that says whenever you cast a spell, you untap all non-land permanents you control. And then Mystic Forge is also a thing that can be tapped to exile the top card of your library, but generally it's going to be revealing the top card and allow you to play artifacts off the top. As you may be able to tell, most of our deck is artifacts, so most of our deck can be cast off the top. And if it can be cast off the top, then Paradox Engine can constantly untap your artifacts, most of which are going to be mana rocks to get us into big mana territory, because we do need to be paying for Omniscience, and also ramping up into Paradox Engine plus something like Mind Stone to then untap. So once we've actually assembled one of those combos, then we can use Jhoi to draw our entire deck. We also have Emery as well, who can be part of the Paradox Engine Infinite combo. You might have seen me play a Sultai combo for Historic recently, which plays very similarly. So Emery, Lurker of the Lock, can choose a target artifact from your graveyard and allow you to cast that this turn. So if you have something like Paradox Engine in play, you can tap the Emery to grab something like Mox Amber, for example. And when you cast Mox Amber, it's going to untap all your permanents, including Emery, which means you can tap again to pick a new card from your graveyard. And the infinite combo actually comes from either Chromatic Sphere or Aether Spellbomb, both of these being 1-mana artifacts that have the ability of paying 1 to draw a card. So when you do that, they also get sacrificed, so once you've drawn your cards, you can recast them with Emery, and then use that to draw your entire deck. Eventually, you'll find the pieces you need to finish the combo, like your Diligent Excavators and your Aetherflux Reservoir. We can produce infinite turns as well. We've got Magistrate's Scepter, which can pay 4 to put a charge counter on it, and then when it removes 3 charge counters, you get an extra turn. So if you combo this with your Paradox Engine, then you can use your 4 excess mana off of every Paradox Engine hit to put a counter on it, untap, and then eventually get your extra turn. If you can get that loop, it's essentially infinite turns, but obviously you will be drawing most of your deck while you're doing it, so it mostly just gives you enough turns. It's not going to like present an infinite loop, as it were, necessarily, because you will die eventually. We do have Planar Bridge, which can pull out permanents. Again, it's going to be for the Omniscience or even the Paradox Engine, depending on what we're missing. We do have a Khan's Temporal Sundering in here for an extra turn spell as well, because often an extra turn spell is all you really need to win. And then I think finally for the other infinite combo and the winning combo, we've got Flood of Tears with Scholar of Ages. So again, with Flood of Tears, if you don't have Omniscience, you can flood your board and then play Scholar of Ages, and the Scholar of Ages gets you 2 instants and sorceries back from your graveyard to your hand, so she can pull Flood of Tears so that you can flood the turn after, basically stopping your opponent from really building up a board state for more than a turn. But yeah, that is essentially the deck. It's pretty decent. It is completely lacking in interaction though, so if your opponent's trying to do a nice quick combo, it's going to be definitely a race for this one. But, you know, that's how I like my combo lists, racing to the finish. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you do, I really appreciate if you do hit a like down in the like section below, leave a comment in the comments section below, hit that bell icon as well if you really want to get notified when videos go live in the future, and also let me know down in the comment section below what kind of decks you've been playing for Historic Brawl. I'm really curious to see what you guys are up to in the Brawl queue, if you're playing it at all. Maybe give me some ideas as to what I should build as well for a future Brawl video. But yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alright, we're in, and it's an interesting hand. It's basically turn 4 Jhoi, draw a card, which isn't the greatest thing in the world, but we can play a Trophy Mage on 3 at the very least, and we can do some stuff. Playing against Llanowar. I played against them earlier today. I think they were playing Yarok last time I played against them, with a different deck as well. But now they're on Vadrok, which we'll get to shortly. I'm just going to plop this down as a tap land and pass the turn. So our opponent's playing Vadrok, Apex of Thunder. Tap land, you say. Yeah, play that out. It is a 3-mana 3/3 with 4-mana mutate flying first strike. When this creature mutates, you may cast a non-creature card with convert mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. The usual way of using this used to be like 3 fairy. I guess not so much anymore though. Right, what do we want to do? So we could go Trophy Mage, or we could play the Guardian Idol. Trophy Mage gets me either Magistrate Scepter, Sculpting Steel, Mana Geode, Cultivator's Caravan. It basically just grabs me a Mana Rock. This allows me to get down Jhoi next turn, though. I guess maybe we'll go for that. Doesn't hold too much value, because they probably have like Scorching Dragonfires and whatnot for Jhoi, but at least we get like a redraw. Suppose we could play the Reservoir. It's an option. So we can gain 1 life, 2 life. So Jace is a pretty good one with Vadrok, actually. Coming back from the dead. Speaking of the dead, we got Field of the Dead. I'm just going to get my Jhoi value now. We're going to go 1 land, Mox Amber, redraw. Paradox Engine, I believe if Jhoi doesn't die, could probably do a lot of work here.
The next puzzle.
So, no doubt they have answers to Jhoi. Smothering Tithe. 4, 5... I could pay for this and I can just play Paradox Engine. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I can't pay for the next one though, so they will gain some mana from that. First time in a long time I've seen Smothering Tithe do anything. Mind Stone's pretty good. Hopefully they don't have a Braids in their deck. Wouldn't matter too much, we can combo without the Paradox Engine. Just gonna go after Jace here. I can't actually remember where they scryed, but if they scryed up to a certain amount, they can't really zero without killing Jace. Yeah, I do have to care a little bit about Smothering Tithe, since Jhoi is a card draw engine, and eventually I will not be able to pay for it, so I'll be ramping our opponent up like crazy with it. But it's basically 2 cost reduction on all my spells right now, if Jhoi lives and Paradox Engine sticks around. Soon to be 3. Turn it to our hand. Create a treasure token, okay. That's fine. 2, 3, 4. Actually, we'll tap our Guardian Idol to do that, because Paradox Engine. Wily Goblin. Are they an emergency powers deck? Or at least trying to be? I'm gonna decline this. I'll let them have it. Let's tap my Colossus. Ah, oh, bugger. Missed out on a point of mana there. Let's go with... Could go and mill them. They look like they might be digging for something. So I could play the Excavator or Jhoi. I should probably go for the Mind Stone, actually, because then I've got more mana to play with. Omniscience. Decline. Let's just say they've got infinite mana. Play my land for the turn. Probably shouldn't, in all honesty. I could probably go for an Inventor's Fair land drop, potentially, off of that. We're going to go with Trophy Mage, though. This is going to get me Magistrate Scepter. Yep. And then we're going to go with Aetherflux Reservoir after that with our extra mana. Magistrate Scepter untaps every time, and can't quite remember the actual cost of it. Where are you? There you are. Tap 4 to put counters on Magistrate Scepter, so once we can generate 4 mana and also play a spell, then we can start tapping this and untapping this, and once we get to our 3, we get to take extra turns. Apparently our opponent's infinite mana did not actually matter, since we've kind of, I guess, showcased that we're going to be doing infinite turns. If we can get up to this amount of mana for this lovely Omniscience as well, then there's pretty much no way we can lose. And yeah, interesting deck from our opponent. Didn't seem terribly powerful in the end, though. But, well. Good lord, is it control day today? It seems it, doesn't it? Alright, we're going to keep this one. Opponent with the Secret Lair metal sleeves. I've not seen them before, actually. Look kind of cool. They don't really do anything. Thought they had an animation, at least. Let's see, what do we want to do? We've got plenty of mana, so I don't know if cracking the Renegade map's really where we want to be. Yeah, I just want to bottom that. We're looking for combo pieces, I think. Up against Nicol Bolas Dragon God, 3-coloured control. Has the loyalty abilities for all of the Planeswalkers on the battlefield. He takes up to draw a card and make me exile. Destroys a creature or Planeswalker. And wins the game. So we're just going to go Spire Bluff, Maze Mind Tome, I think. We'll start scrying with this. We're not too fussed about wasting its usages. Our opponent's pretty close to getting an early bolus, and we'll try to commit it on time. I think we should be able to. Planar Bridge is garbage. Arcane Signet. So our opponent's only got 4 mana next turn, so they don't have to. We don't have to worry about bolus. So I think we'll go with probably Signet Renegade map, I want to say. Crack that for a land drop for the turn, essentially, and then save the spell bomb for Jhoira's draw before she dies. Other Nicol Bolas. I will get rid of Aetherflux Reservoir, I think. You can always get it back later. Traveler's Amulet. No. Annoyingly, now that Bolas is out being a legitimate threat, I don't know if I can really play Jhoira as well, because I've got to go for the Nicol Bolas Dragon God. Kill. Let's grab some islands. I was going to Renegade map, wasn't I? Yeah, well. Yeah, I mean, I've just got to commit the Lord Bolas. I don't think it does me many favours playing anything here. So this is Bolus plus Mystical Dispute. Big Mama Chandra. Gonna put her back in the deck. Opponent probably assumed I was holding up counter magic. They're not wrong. It's just not counter magic they were expecting. I'm gonna crack map for my land drop for the turn. Let's grab a mountain just in case of Field of the Dead, and then we'll go for a scry. Chromatic Sphere. Yes, I will take that. So we're gonna go Jhoi. And I think we're just gonna get our redraws while we can. Metallic Rebuke's actually worth holding here. A counter unless you pay 3. Oh, bugger, no. The way it's tapped is not my friend. Just realised I have to crack my Chromatic Sphere for blue and I can't do that. It ruins the improvise. Yeah, that's a punt. I don't know what mana I had available to me prior, but I'm assuming it was better than I ended up with, because I could have countered that. It's really, really irritating. Let's try and dig for an answer, maybe. Nope. Mystic Forge. It's pretty good. I'll go for it.
Your existence is pointless.
Alright. So, Vantress. Forge. Spires on top, okay. Let's play the Spell Bomb here. Now it suddenly wants to ask me what I want to spend. Fair enough. So now what we can do is... Let's see. I want to leave open Aether Spell Bomb to bounce Bolus. So I guess we're going to get rid of the Metallic Rebuke.
Witness a mote of my power.
Chandra's back, by the way. But they might want to go for a Bolus attack and then transform, and then I'll bounce it response. Pretty much preventing them from doing that by holding up in this Spell Bomb. And then we're going to take this Spire off the top as well, because it's garbage. Go on, do it. Love to see it. Alright, return to your hand. Got an Angel on top. It's alright. Actually, I think we're going to go for a draw 7. Yeah, let's do it. My hand's bad, their hand was good. Let's edit it slightly. Omniscience on top. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Close. It is close. Want to leave it right where it is, though, because our opponent can have thought erasures and other things like that. We're quite close to winning, honestly. We have a land here. I'd imagine our opponent's quite far away from winning. They could maybe do some Elder Spell shenanigans. But like, if they're a little bit crazy and they tap out in the wrong way at the wrong time, I can get them. Sure. Probably take 6 mana Ugin. Won't even hesitate on that one. I mean, it could be playing a bridge. It allows them to put permanents into play while holding their mana. Nope, Fibble Thipped. Only got 5 mana for it though, so they can't play it just yet. It does hit my Omniscience, so if we go for the combo, we better hit. Alright, well they've tapped out. This is one of those situations we're talking about. Can we win? I don't know if we can just off the spot here, but we do have Inventor's Sphere. Oh my god, Flood of Tears. Hang on. Hang on. It's not quite, is it? Because I need to draw it with Chromatic Sphere. I suppose we could do Archmage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I mean, this demand's being answered. This just puts Paradox Engine into play, right? And then naughty things can happen. I definitely want the Flood of Tears, and I want 4 permanents in play, so I think I'm going to go with a Planar Bridge. We can always hide our cards with Valakut's Awakening, because like this Omniscience can be grabbed with Planar Bridge now. But we do have to contend with counter spells at this point. Sort of. And in fact, if we're going for the Planar Bridge, it will probably be for Omniscience. Right, what am I getting rid of here? Is it just a land? I think it's probably just land in hand. Oh, land in play, sorry. Like the mountain. Not sure, I'm pretty sure that's where we want to be though. Sky, Clave, Relic with Kicker. So we're going to try and bait a counterspell with the Valakut's Awakening. If they counter that, we dump the Omniscience into play with Flood of Tears. They shouldn't be able to counter both. Phyrexian Scriptures? Why? So they've got like Spell Pierce mana, Mystical Dispute mana. The sort of mana doesn't really matter. I think I'm actually just going to say submit 0 here, and then we're going to Flood of Tears, Omniscience. Got all these artifacts in play for the Videlcan Archmage. Yeah, so let's just redraw off the Valakut's Awakening. Gain some life, and I think we've won. I guess if they've got Mystical Dispute specifically, or Pact of Negation, this doesn't work. But Spell Pierce can be paid for. Alright. There goes your mana. Opponent's completely tapped out. Omniscience into play. Videlcan Archmage comes down, and we start drawing all of our deck. Woo! Oh, baby. That was really sketchy. I'm guessing our opponent just had literally nothing with those last 4 cards. I mean, they didn't really have anything in play that could react to what I was doing, so those 4 cards had to be specifically, I think, counter magic. Because killing the Archmage isn't all that much of a problem, because we can generate some mana and we can do some Mystic Forge stuff and shuffle with Trophy Mage and whatnot. Eventually getting 6 mana It's doable from this position, getting 6 mana for Jhoi to then continue drawing cards off our artifacts. Difficult, but doable, I think. But yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Dodged quite a fair few silver bullets from their deck, for sure. Oh dear, this is going to be probably quite a miserable matchup if I had to guess. Opponents on the draw with a Tiny Bones discard tribal deck against combo, which we are. We don't currently have any combo pieces in hand though, so with that in mind, I'm going to keep this one. It's not the worst thing in the world for them to attack our hand most of the time, because, you know, if they discard a combo piece, we can get it back with Midnight Clock, things like that. We've also got Commit to Memory as well, but it's mostly the fact that they might be actually able to hit cards that I like along the way. Your go. Get muted. Alright. At least they got it out the way nice and early. So, Tiny Bones Trinket Thief, 2 mana 1/2. At the beginning of each end step, if an opponent discarded a card this turn, you draw a card and lose 1 life. And then for 6 mana, each opponent with no cards in hand loses 10 life. That part, probably unlikely to happen. Always want to go blue with these pathways and whatnot. So red is basically just a splash in this list. Let's go Guardian Idol, pass the turn. So they're going to go Tiny Bones, probably like Thoughtseize or something like that. Really? Interesting. Well, let's punish their lack of discard spell with a tempo play. Crack the Fable Passage, again for an island. The only reason you really want to grab the mountain is if, 1, you're lacking it, and 2, if you've got Field of the Dead. And we're going to go with, I think, a Chromatic Sphere. It kind of redraws. So we can maybe find a land drop with Jhoi into the Traveler's Amulet to draw. I'm guessing they're just going to go Tiny Bones, discard. But yeah, as I was saying, like, most of the discard's not going to matter too much. It's basically the ones that exile that are going to be a real problem. Could actually go with a Commit, maybe. Just put Memory in our graveyard. I think playing a bridge for now, though, is fine. Midnight Clock. Alright, so let's draw a card, try for that land drop. Found it. Also, we don't have Castle Embereth in this deck, so grabbing an island also to make Vantress untapped is very important. So now we can do Jhoi, we can redraw with Traveler's Amulet. We honestly don't care if she dies. Emery is very nice. Brankle's very unfortunate. So, she's kind of dead anyway. So I might as well block for damage here. I'm in the command zone. Does nothing, likes all the cards, eh?
Perish the thought.
Alright, put a memory in there. We could draw back up to 7. Puts our opponent's commander back in the command zone as well. We don't have to do it just yet, I suppose, though. We can go with Emery Midnight Clock for now. We did just play our land, so that's not a thing. Pass the turn. Elspeth's Nightmare. Yeah, we're going to be shuffling our graveyard back in anyway, so the Chapter 3 is not going to do anything. This is kind of the annoying bit, though, because we're going to lose that Khan's Temporal Sundering I like so much. I suppose we could crack Traveler's Amulet, though, for an island. Discards a card, loses life, draws a card. Yeah, I'll go for an island. Thin the deck out, you know. Discard that instead, make Davriel do its thing. River's Rebuke. Each opponent discards a card, mills a card, gains 1. Alright. It's Temporal Sundering at this point. We're just going to memory and go back up to 7, I think. And there goes Davriel. And then they draw, but the draw doesn't matter. Mind Stone. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do that, right? Do boop, boop. Play that. 4, 5, 6. Yep. So, if our Elspeth's Nightmare can eat my graveyard, we'll go ahead and do this. They can duress me, but that should be fine. We'll just go with Steam Vents tapped past the turn. Duress me. Got nothing good in hand, so shouldn't matter too much. But that does mean that Tiny Bones is already triggered. It's going to take the Hedron Archive, sure. It does allow me to chain spells together with a Jhoi, so I can see that being the correct pick. Leyline of the Void makes my Emery useless. We go to 9. Yeah, we are struggling a little bit. Discards a card. Get rid of the Spire, because I can't afford to pay for the life on it. So it might as well be colourless. And Cling to Dust, don't care. Alright, we do need something really nice here, and Seagate Restoration... Don't know if that's it. Is a draw 5. 3. Let's call this 4, because there's a lose life here. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If they can make me lose 1 extra point of life, I die. I can hold up in Jwari's Disruption with the Seagate Restoration, though. So I think it's probably the best thing to do. There's a Pact Negation as well, so that gives me some safety. It's a shame I don't have the mana for Whelming Wave. So, I mean, Jwari's Disruption is going to do nothing because they've got the Castle Cabal Stronghold. So let's just go with some scrying. Assuming I'm not dead, I'm going to need a really good top deck. So it's somewhat difficult for them to find an extra point, but like most drain triggers that they may have here will do it. But they do have to be a Pact of Negation in order to get there. And I doubt they'll play around it. Opponent discards 2 cards. That one and that one. Can't discard anything important because of the ley line. Each player discards a card, sure. We'll go with Jwari's Disruption. Will do me no favors anymore. Okay. Show me something good. That's really bad. Next try. Show me something good. That's really bad. Draw. That is not good enough, right? So I can Whelming Wave to bounce their boards, but I need to take care of Prankle, who is attacking me for 4 next turn. So Aetherflux Reservoir plus Whelming Wave leaves me with only 1 mana, which is not good enough. So I think I need to do a redraw with Prophetic Prism. I'm not sure what I'm digging to at this point. That won't do it. Alright, well I guess I'm going to go with a Whelming Wave and then we're going to have to pact the Prankle. Sure. But then I'm dead to the Dreadhorde invasion. Sure, we're going to 1. This is too close for comfort. Assuming their first thing is going to be that. So that's going to be my thing. Because that kills me if I don't counter it. Tiny Bones. I think that also puts me dead, right? Unless this reservoir can get me where I need to be. Pretty sure I'm going to need as much mana as possible, so I'm not going to crack my Cryptic Caves. I also have to pay for this Pact. Let's just see if I actually had anything. Diligent Excavator is not what I'm looking for. Nor is Maze Mind Tome, I don't think. This leaves me with 3 mana. Yeah, it's not good enough. Close, just couldn't quite get the pieces we needed into play. If I'd get this Temporal Sundering going, then I imagine between all the draws I had available on the extra turn, I might have been able to do it. Like an Emery, for example, but there's just too many things in play right now to realistically keep me alive, and we're just dead to all of this, so next game. Okay, it's combo versus combo. We have a 2-drop, 3-drop with Metallic Rebuke as well. I like this hand. It's a bit slow, but it has potential. So our opponent's playing Joda, Archmage Eternally, 5-color commander, a 4-mana 4/3. Says you may pay Wooburg rather than pay the mana cost of spells that you cast. So usually the big one is a 5-mana Omniscience. That's kind of what they're aiming for, something along those lines. So we want to be countering Joda if we can. Which I dare say we probably can. Eventually, though, they will ramp out into all the spells that they're trying to cheat. Should be really janky. Probably very low on interaction. Maybe lots of sweepers, though. If I had to guess. Circuitous Route. Okay, this is exceptionally aggressive. There's only 1 basic in their deck. No gates. Interesting. So I can play the Chromatic Sphere and still hold up in Metallic Rebuke. Kind of wanted to hold it for Jhoi, but I think if we counter their Joda, it should set them pretty far back. Assuming they don't have a land in hand. Which they do. They had all their basics. Alright, well, we're going to have to go for a counter unless we pay 3 and hope for the best. At least we play around Censor and Jwari's Disruption. Alright. So now it costs them 6, and it will take them a little bit more time to rebuild. Hopefully by then we've got Ugin down to minus on him. We probably want to go with the Mana Geode first then. So this gives us a scry, maybe sets up what Chromatic Sphere wants to reveal, which is a Fabled Passage, and I believe we haven't made a land drop this turn, so let's draw that. Grab a Mountain, and play Midnight Clock. Alright, so now they can play Joda, I can play Ugin and minus on Joda. Pact to Negation's the only thing that's going to stop us there. Boop. And my Maze Mind Tome is now free as well. Do I want to play it before Jhoi, though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm 3 mana short of an Omniscience, which is significantly far away. I think I want to probably use this for the scry. Our opponent could be, like, you know, maybe going for, like, Casualties of War at this point, which is pretty significantly brutal, taking a land, an artifact, and my Ugin away. I think they've got the mana for that. Green, black, green, green, black, yeah. Chromatic Orrery. Also pretty good. He's now fixed their mana completely, and was basically 2 mana if they've got something to play here. There you go. They got the answer to my Ugin. Pretty decent one as well. Trophy Mage. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. No, I want a land drop. I want to do Jhoi plus Reservoir, probably.
I concede.
At the very least, I want something that Jhoi can draw off of. Excavator is not it. Let's draw with a Tome. That's the card we were kind of looking for, but now it just doesn't really sparkle with me anymore. I think we'll go with Jhoi anyway. If she doesn't get killed here, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a land drop means they can Joda into a Wooburg card. Chromatic Lantern. Okay, we've dodged a bullet. They actually play Blood Crypt tap there, which says to me those 2 cards are not good. Because theoretically they would have played them off of the Shocked in Blood Crypt, given the chance. 4, 5, 6, 7. I could go with a Planar Bridge, because next turn it can put, like, Paradox Engine into play. That doesn't seem too amazing, though. I think we'll go with Mind Stone. I guess I could start milling them as well, but I don't know if they really have, like, you know, jumpstart cards or something like that. Might be doing them a favour by milling them. We're really not quite sure. Then we'll just go with the Reservoir. Emery's very good. Okay. Emery might be the keys to the city here. Nope. Not at all. We do have a Maze Mind Tome draw, though. I'll offer a trade with Joda. I don't mind. I doubt they take it, but if they do, that's okay. And we're going to draw on the Maze Mind Tome, so we'll leave our 2 mana open. Let me just make sure to just give this a little bit of a I have blue mana kind of move. We've got Ritual of Sup. Goodbye, Emery. A powerful, powerful play indeed. Field of the Dead online. Alright, last card. Could go for a draw 3 with the Orrery. Looks like that's what they're going to go and do. Could be just dead here, though. So I got my land drop. Yeah, I think they're just dead now, because we got the Omniscience. Draw a card with Gilded Lotus. Whir of Invention. It's not quite what I'm looking for. Let's draw off Maze Mind Tome. Field of Ruin. Let's play the Excavator. Playing a Bridge. I suppose I could Whelming Wave for Mox Amber. I'm gonna mill them because it's interesting. Yeah, Whir for Mox Amber I think is where we want to be. And then from there, we are going to Whelming Wave. Back to hand. Yeah, we got the Aether Flux Reservoir kill here. Excavator. 54, and boop our opponent. Good game. Make sure to boop your opponent first before going for the GG, because if you click the Aether Flux Reservoir, you can target yourself. We didn't manage to do that this time, which is good. But yeah, pretty interesting Jhoi list from them. It's very very mid-rangey instead of combo-y. It's not what I expected it to be, honestly. Maybe they drew the wrong cards. It's entirely possible that's the case, but whenever I build Jhoi, it's usually a hyper meme. Maybe we'll do that this week. Who knows? Do love me a hyper meme. There's lots of infinite combos with Jhoi as well, which is quite fun. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, then make sure to hit that like button and subscribe as well for more content like this in the future. We're going to be doing a fair bit more Historic Brawl now it's around for a week. Hopefully it's around permanently after that, but you know, that's up to Wizards being good people, I suppose. If they're good people, we'll get Infinite Brawl. If they're not, well, it's just Wizards. Alright, well, take care guys. Have a good night.